everyone, Jason here, and welcome to Super Nintendo Collection Quest 3, where I'll be going over my Super Nintendo game pickups for the month of December. And I like to go over and play each of the games just a little bit to get an idea of what type of game it is, if it's something I want to come back to and play more, if it's a nice two-player game I could play with a friend. I just like to get a good idea of what each of these games are, and you'll have a chance to win a free game for the system of your choice.
As a kid, I loved my NES, but when I got my Super Nintendo, that was it. Great graphics, sound, and gameplay, I was hooked. Some of my fondest gaming memories are from playing some of the greatest RPG, adventure, action platform, and multiplayer games on the SNES. It is my goal to own every North American Super Nintendo game released. So, follow me on my quest to Super Nintendo completion.
So let's just get to it. Here's my Super Nintendo game pickups for the month of December. Number 543, Super Valise 4.
Valise 4 was first released in 1991 on the PC Engine CD-ROM system. It was eventually released the following year on the Super Nintendo as Super Valise 4. This isn't just a direct port though. Both versions of the game made very good use of the strengths that each system had to offer. While the PC Engine version had excellent CD quality music, obviously thanks to the fact that the game was released in CD format, the Super Nintendo version's music was somewhat similar but reorchestrated to better suit the strengths and weaknesses of the Super Nintendo sound processor. This version also took advantage of the more capable graphics chip that the Super Nintendo had to offer. As such, the game levels will look similar to the original game, but have a bit different layout. The game itself is basically a side-scrolling action platformer with a boss battle at the end of each level. You'll pick up limited-use weapons and armor along the way. These will go into a small inventory in the upper right of the screen, where you can use the L and R buttons to highlight which item you want to use next. My one complaint is that the levels do feel a bit shallow at times. There isn't a lot of creature variety, and the pacing seems to be a bit drawn out. There is a decent amount of challenge to the game, and fortunately, you'll be able to continue at the beginning of each level as many times as you need.
Number 544, Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim was originally released on the Sega Genesis. This Super Nintendo version is a port of the original. Backgrounds in this version were reworked and enhanced to show off the larger color palette of the Super Nintendo. Really, the backgrounds look amazing in this compared to the Genesis version. However, due to resolution differences, the aspect ratio of the original game is not maintained here, making all of the characters appear just a bit wider. Earthworm Jim is one of the better platformers on the Super Nintendo, featuring fluid-like cartoon animation and wacky cartoon antics. There are a lot of hidden passages and items to find on each level, and each level feels fresh and exciting. Nothing ever feels too repetitive or boring. Although, what makes the level design in this game so cool can also make things a bit tricky at first. As you can see, the levels are not just an assembly of perfectly square bricks, but of twisty, angled paths. On first play, it may take you a few minutes to navigate, but you'll catch on pretty quick. Most levels are accompanied by a boss character and sometimes a mini-boss to defeat. With this game, you should expect a challenge. You will have limited lives and continues, but you can earn more along the way. Overall, it's a great game, guys, and definitely one I recommend.
Number 545, Top Gear 3000.
Top Gear 3000 is a racing game set in the future. You earn money by completing races and spend it to upgrade your car. This game features 1 to 4 player support by splitting the screen up to 4 ways. The 3D racing obviously shows its age, but for 3D on the Super Nintendo, it actually isn't half bad. This is the only Super Nintendo game to utilize a DSP-4 chip built into the cartridge, which provides advanced mathematics for calculating 3D data. Without the DSP-4 chip, it would not have been possible to support the branching paths that can occur on some of the tracks. I was actually pleasantly surprised by this one. I enjoyed the racing, and even though the draw distance isn't great, they do a good job of alerting you to turns coming up ahead. Car upgrades are definitely a big plus for me, and there's a password system so you can resume your progress.
Number 546, The Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie.
The Great Circus Mystery is quite simply a pleasure to play. This very solid platformer by Capcom features simultaneous two-player co-op support, colorful sprites, and fresh gameplay. The levels are well designed, and it always feels like you're doing something new as you progress through the game. As you play, you will unlock special suits for Mickey and Minnie that will allow you to perform various new moves that help you progress. For example, a safari suit will allow you to scale walls and swing from hooks. The cowboy suit allows you to shoot corks as a projectile attack, and the sweeper, which can suck up enemies and turn them into coins. While fresh and fun, this game is pretty easy. I'd recommend it as a two-player game that you can play with someone who has a bit less video game experience. Or maybe you just want to enjoy a more laid-back platformer and simply experience the game. Either way, definitely a fun game.
And lastly, number 547, King of Dragons.
The King of Dragons was released in arcades in 1991. It was eventually ported to the Super Nintendo in '94. Up to 2 players can fight their way through this side-scrolling hack-and-slash game from Capcom. You have 5 different character classes to choose from, and as you fight orcs, harpies, minotaurs, and other various D&D-like creatures, you will gain experience, level up, and get stronger. There are 16 stages to play through, though most of them are quite short. It's still a lot of fun. I really like these arcadey hack-and-slash games with multiplayer and leveling systems. If you enjoy this game too, there is another similar game to look for called Knights of the Round.
So I'm currently at 547 Super Nintendo games and have 184 more to go. In the description below I have a link to my up-to-date collection so you can see which games I have and which ones I'm missing, just in case you're curious. Every month I pick someone at random to win a free game for the system of their choice, but I actually had 3 different giveaways going on during the month of December. The first was a digital copy of Retro City Rampage DX, which has already been claimed. The second giveaway is for a copy of that awesome English-translated Japanese beat-em-up game for the Super Nintendo that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. There were only 8 entries for that, so really good chances of winning, and the winner is Maho La Frenze. Congratulations. Send me a PM, a private message with the address you'd like the game sent to, and the third giveaway is the winner of last month's Collection Quest contest, and that person is Marcos Martinez. Congratulations. Send me a PM letting me know which system you'd like the random game for, and the address you'd like the game shipped to. And yes, to answer your question, it can be Nintendo 64. I just forgot to include that in my list last month, but basically it can be any system that I have games for. Like, for instance, I don't have any Neo Geo games, unfortunately, so no Neo Geo at this time. So yeah, just let me know which system you'd like the game for, and let me know the address you'd like it shipped to. For anyone that wants to enter next month's random drawing, all you have to do is be subscribed, so subscribe if you aren't already, thumbs up the video, and leave a comment below. That's it. And I will pick a random winner and announce it in next month's Super Nintendo Collection Quest video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I will see you later.